This is Max Shears for Pro Boxing Fans. I'm delighted to be joined once again by Wade. Wade, it feels like we've got that big influencer boxing scene back, running around hotels for interviews. You've got guests everywhere. Talk to me. Andrew Tate, Chase Damore, they've just faced off on stage. How do you feel?
Bro, it does. It feels like the OG Misfits scene again. It feels like when we all started this and we didn't really know what it was going to be. We didn't know who was going to be here. That racket in the background here is Vidal Riley. He's here. And that's the scene. Everybody and anybody that was around when this started is here once again. And it just feels like a kind of return home moment, even though I feel like I've had a couple of those now. But also feels like a new start. So I'm very excited.
I'm not going to mess around with this question. What do you expect from Andrew Tate on Saturday night?
You know, the way Tate is talking, I expect a knockout from him. Now, is that what I'm going to predict? I can't do that because I'm calling the fights. But I think that his mindset is knockout. I think he's shown a ton of composure all week when Chase has been doing all kind of crazy stuff. And last week, or 2 weeks ago when I was here too, same kind of vibe. Chase is just trying to troll and pick at Andrew. And he stayed stoic and he stayed locked in. I think his expectation is knockout. And I expect him to deliver on all the stuff he's been saying, the skill set, everything else, because he really he can't lose, right? If he loses, it's so brutal for him. So it's knockout or essentially bust for him.
I've spoken to Andrew, and I know you have as well. The biggest thing that I took away from him, you see that fighter back. He's locked in. There's no messing around. I don't even think he wanted to do the interview. He's locked in. He wants to fight.
He doesn't want to talk.
Is that what you got?
He did the same thing with me. He did not want to say a word. I was like, and just trying to drag it out as long as I could. But he was doing that 2 weeks ago. So imagine now, during fight week. Tomorrow, we probably won't get a word out of him at the weigh-in, and then it's go time. So that shows you a fighter's locked in. It shows you where their focus is. And for Tate, that's exactly where it needs to be. He's a guy that already has all this social media and money and everything else. He could come in and swag on everybody and throw money and really do the whole shebang, but he has chosen to be more caring about the fight itself than the press and everything else. Him just being here is big time press. So.
And then talk about Chase. I think obviously Tate's got so many fans online and they're almost overlooking Chase. But Whips and Chase, I see him fighting in Mexico. This guy's up for it. He fights for the sake of fighting. So he's a real test on Saturday, isn't he?
Yeah, and listen, as much as Chase is not the greatest fighter ever and his technique is Chase doesn't train. I mean, to be looking at him, I know he trains and he gets in shape, but Chase doesn't, he didn't go the traditional way of like, let me get in a boxing gym, let me learn how to step with my jab and turn my right hand over. And to be fair to him, he's 6'5", 240. Does he really ever need to? He can do this to you and you fall asleep, So, and like you said, he's game. He will fight anybody. And that mentality is going to carry him. And listen, as much as this is Tate's fight to lose, Chase is a live dog in there. This is not like, walk out, one punch, Chase hits the ground, it's over. It's a 240-pound dude, 6'5", got to reach. Even if he does this, it's hard to touch him. So if Chase lands a right hand, things get crazy on Saturday.
Well, I know we don't have long, but someone that I know you're close with and you speak to a lot, Jake Paul goes into the maddest fight ever on Friday night. You might know more than me. What sort of mindset is he going into this fight with?
He believes it, man. Jake believes it. He 1,000% believes he's going to go in there and knock Anthony Joshua out or beat him or, win the boxing match somehow. And I can't explain to you why he thinks that. I can't explain to you how it got in his head that he was going to do that. But I can tell you that 100% Jake believes it. And these ideas about, I hate addressing this, but the idea about rigging and this, it never is the case with Jake fights. And I can tell you that personally. If you don't like my credibility, then I don't know what to tell you. But it's never been the case. And for this one, odds are stacked against him entirely. And I think that's what wakes him up, because a guy like that with that much money, you're seeing it with KSI now and Logan too. It's like, how long do you really want to do this unless you have that fire, something to get you out of bed? And Jake found it. Unfortunately, it's Anthony Joshua, and I don't see it going past 3 or 4 rounds.
I'm going to ask you an almost impossible question here, Wade. But if I said Jake Paul Anthony Joshua happens 5,000 times, 10,000 times, how many times would you want that fight to happen until you genuinely think Jake Paul could win this? Or do you think he never beats Anthony Joshua?
No, there's a chance. If you're doing percentages, I gave Jake like a 5% chance. So, I don't know what the math is there, but I guess every 500 times they fought, he'd win once. Is that how it goes? I don't know. I'm not sure on my percentages, but that would essentially be it. Like, he has what I think Jake wants to do, and I think what he will do, is try to walk Anthony into range versus trying to penetrate this 82-inch reach and then drop an overhand, maybe slip inside with his head off the center line and run the overhand behind it. If AJ comes in with that stupid-ass low guard that he tried with Dubois and was like all loose, then Jake can hurt hurt him. But if he comes in like a tank, like a truck, I know he's with Usyk's team and they're doing like pivots and shit. I'm like, bro, be a truck. You're an 18-wheeler. Go downhill, you know. If he comes in and lines up a right hand, I don't think Jake's going to take it.
Lastly, before I let you go, you've spoken to a legend. He was always a legend, but now it's written in the history books. Terence Crawford, who's obviously retired. Just a look back on his career. You've spoken to him. You're the lucky man here.
Yeah, that's the thing, is he's such a competitor that I'm kind of surprised that he called it quits right now. Terrence wants to compete at everything. He wanted to compete with me in video games after our interview, you know. He wanted to wrestle. So I guess in his mind, he did everything. And to be fair to him, he kind of did. Multiple division world champion. Ends is undisputed, 3-time undisputed at different divisions. So, yeah, man, what else is there to do? I am a little disappointed that we didn't get the rematch, even though I think it probably would have went the same way. Bud would have beat up Canelo a little more probably in the second time around. But I don't know. I don't know. It just shocked me. I was like, damn, I guess that's it. I wanted to see him in so many different more fights. You know, I wanted to see the Boots fight. I wanted to see, I don't know, Carlos Adames at 60, you know, go get the belt there. I don't know, Janabek, I know they were talking about it. But you know what? People aren't going to like to hear this. I think the reason he retired is because there's a Jake Paul fight looming. Believe it or not, I think it's going to happen in 20. Because why else, dude? He's still relatively young. Jake keeps bringing his name up. You're not going to have a sitting champion that's holding the belts. What else is Crawford going to do? You can't blame him now because he retired. He's not in the active fighting, you know, top world guy. So it's just like the Floyd Mayweather exhibitions, and we'll see what happens. I think that's what's going to happen.
Definitely. Our last one. I know with boxing, anything can change in a moment, especially with these two guys. But the Ring recently reported Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua, a deal struck, I think, for 2026. Both to have comeback fights. Do you think we're going to get it? And how exciting is that? This is the biggest fight in boxing, isn't it?
It's a massive fight. I just hate when we do this thing where we're like, let's set the fight. But not only does AJ have to get through Jake, which seems to be, you know, a fairly easy night for him, but then they're going to have another fight in February for AJ before he goes and fights Tyson again. I'm like, why are we doing 2 fights before we get there? Tyson needs a comeback fight. Just get in there. You both know how to box. Yeah. You both have done this all your life. What are we shaking the rust off of? That's what happened in boxing throughout history. We've seen guys stumble because we give them a fight before, and we got to happen with this fight. How many times it was supposed to happen and someone lost and then it didn't happen? So I hope it happens. I think it needs to happen. I will say I thought Tyson was flat wrong for calling Joshua a loser and doing all that he said. I think it was yesterday now. Because Joshua was just saying what every fighter says and taking Jake as seriously as he'd take every other fighter. And Tyson has no room to talk. He fought Francis Ngannou and got sat down from a guy that had never boxed before. You can't call anybody a loser after you almost disrespected and disgraced the entire sport by going, toe-to-toe with Francis. And Francis, I thought, won the fight. I'll say it. But I do need to see that fight. And I think that the stylistic matchup is very interesting because Tyson, as big and tall as he is, somehow he still gets hit. Even, you know, Usyk is a wizard, but if you could touch Tyson on the chin, it goes bad news quick. AJ doesn't recover well, so maybe Tyson turns the tide on him. Who knows? But we need that one, 2026 for sure.
Wait, I won't keep you any longer. Thank you, mate. Thank you much.